in audio. 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 In audio.
Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV, and we are live for another video, man. I didn't expect to do this video, I can't lie to you, but there's been a lot happening today. I know we had the calling show. Check the calling show. I think Staffy was there as well. Big up to my guy Staffy. You know what I'm saying to you. But check out the calling show. Check out many other content. But you know what, man? It's getting to that point where you might see 2-3 uploads a day. You know what I'm saying to you? Because the transfer window, I don't think, before I introduce big up Michael as well. We got the two New York crew. You know, I'm going New York soon, so I want to feel like I'm in New York. You know what I'm saying to you? We got Michael Griggs from New York. What are you telling me, bro? You good?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, man, not too bad. And we got a New Yorker, but he says he's from New Jersey. But you know, we're here. You know what I'm saying? What are you telling me, Staffy?
It's both, bro. It's both. Just like how they saying the Arsenal and Man United games in New York, and it's actually in Jersey. I'm gonna say the same thing. But
Are you
big
going
up
to that,
for
by the way?
having
You
me.
going to that? Have you got tickets? For that?
I should be going. Yeah.
I got tickets for
Yeah,
it already.
Michael, you going as
Yeah,
well?
that's- yeah.
Man, big up, man. It's good, man. Like I said, man. I know you guys don't get to see games often because obviously across the pond, but yo, man, large up to everyone go to the games. But yeah, man, make sure you like the video. There's over 200 already in the building. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Like everybody right now, it's 10:30 in the evening here. Obviously, New York, it's about what, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock?
It's 5:30. Yeah.
5:30, man. It's crazy, man. So it's a nice time for you guys to enjoy this. Anyone that's America, anyone's around the world, big up to you, man. But yeah, we're going to talk about loads of things. Mason Greenwood situation developing today. We've got Mason Mount. Chelsea still budging over 70 million with add-ons now. And Levy refused to sell Harry Kane to Man United. And also Caicedo as well. Arsenal apparently have put in a bid for Caicedo. But let's talk on the Mason Greenwood situation. And of course, like I said to you, we all talk about the situation very delicately because, like I said, there's an ongoing case. But we're going to talk to you about the situation here. Manchester United are considering sending Mason Greenwood out on loan for the whole of next season. This is coming from Mike Keegan, who's been kind of developing the story on the Daily Mail for the ownership situation throughout the whole season, really. It carries on to say here, Man United could decide to release Mason Greenwood should they find he brought the club into disrepute, or they could completely review and send him overseas to allow further period of reflection. It says here, Man United's internal investigation into Mason Greenwood is ongoing, but officials are looking to move into a move that would see the 20-year-old head move abroad up to a year. Italy, Spain, and Turkey are thought to be the three likeliest options. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of Mason Greenwood. Let's go with you, Staffy. Obviously, it's ongoing. Internal investigation is still ongoing. But it feels like it's coming to a close now in terms of them finding a solution, because now it looks like they're going to send him out on loan to a club. But what do you make of the latest developments, just in general?
Honestly, I'm reading it in one way only, Saeed. It's that kid is done in the club. They're trying to make any money back from, because if I'm correct, he has 2 more years left on his contract.
2 more, yeah.
And he gets about 75 grand a week. It's just like I'm reading it as one thing. They're just desperate to save some of that money before he leaves, because none of the things that I've read or what you just read out implies that he might be given a second chance with this club. Now, I'm not saying that's right or not, and I feel like I don't really want to touch on this topic because a lot of people get sensitive when you say maybe he should get given a second chance or not. I'm just reading it as that he's done. There's no way we're giving him a second chance. Let's just make some money off of him before he gets released, because I feel like clubs are not stupid. They know how bad the situation is with a club like Man United, big clubs, they care about their PR too much. And I really don't think someone with all the cases that he had against him, and I mean, even if it's dropped, we saw what we saw, we heard what we heard, a club like Man United would really worry for their PR. So I think he's done, and they're just trying to make something off of him, man. If someone can come pick him up for half of his wage for the next year, and then he goes for free anyways, guys, I don't think anyone's going to put a real bid in for him. They'll pick him up for peanuts. So they're just trying to do anything to save some money, and then he's going to leave. That's honestly the only way I can look at it.
Yeah, 100% in terms of recruiting. Obviously, we didn't really buy him because he came through the academy. But I think for the contract, I think you're looking at the contract, and in terms of the fact that United have legally had to pay him a lot of money. Just obviously he's not been there, innit? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I do believe that, you know what I mean? But again, the manager can have his own opinion on whether he wants him or not. But the club, obviously, Michael, are built on PR and whatnot, and they go through a process of selling the football club. I don't think they've even had time to even think of this situation. That's why they're kind of delaying it, aren't they? Really?
Yeah, I think what Staffy said might be right. That might be going down that route. Or potentially, I think they might just send him on loan to see if he's fit, how he looks at, because he hasn't played football in what, 18 months, something like that.
18 months, yeah.
So
18 months.
They want to see how he looks potentially, because they can't bring him back to play for us because that would be too much of a PR nightmare. So they're gonna send him abroad, see how he is, and then probably reassess the situation, because I'm not saying this is right or anything, but it could come to a situation where if he goes crazy in Europe for another team, Man United might think that outweighs the negatives that he brings. I think the club might look at that situation potentially. They shouldn't do that, but that's what they might do, because at the end of the day, football is a business to most of those guys upstairs in the board. So they might look at that. But it could also be what Staffy said. They might just send him out on loan, hope that he does well there, and then they can make a fee. I think they might also do that, because when we talk about he came through the academy, right? United have FFP problems. He's a direct profit, so that also helps their money situation. They could sell him for let's say 20-30 mil potentially to another team. That might also help them cut their losses and also benefit.
They're not going to give him a contract, are they? Right now, there's no. It's only literally the contract dying down. It says next year will be 1 year left on his contract. You know what I mean? So it's one of them. And obviously, you don't know the value. You don't know how he's going to return back to football anyway. Forget anything else. You know what I mean? So I you are. I think Sully's saying here, very smart, doing exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think they just right now put him on loan. It's not our problem, and then later on we'll think about the situation as it comes, because you don't know. Again, it's not going to be their problem when you actually deep it. Because at the end of the day, we could have new owners. It could be Jim Radcliffe. It could be Qataris. We don't know. So they're right now putting it at the back of the. You know what I mean?
But the PR's club doesn't really change, Saeed, no matter who the owner is. You got to understand that Man United, yes, they are owned by certain owners, and someone will take over if the Glazers sell. But as an entity, they still run in a certain way. Owners don't come in and the policies change in terms of PR and players with cases, because these are very big cases, when it's rape allegations and domestic violence. An owner
Facts.
coming in doesn't really change anything. At the end of the day, as an entity, your PR stays the same, which is why I'm saying I understand what Michael's trying to say in terms of fitness or whatever, but I think that's the last thing they care about. Because if someone comes in tomorrow and gives them any offer, I think they'll sell him. I just think clubs are aware that no one is going to put in a decent bid for him because they know what's going on. So might as well wait for something to happen, like him getting released, because you read it yourself, bro. They're saying if they don't get anything, they might just release him. So they don't care about him in the long term in terms of like growing his value, whatever. They just want to get rid of him. Honestly, it's very obvious. So as I said, they're just trying to liquidate it. If they could get some value off of him before he goes, so be it. If not, I highly doubt this carries on into next year. Like, he'll be cut before the new season. That's just my opinion.
In terms of the morale, when you look at it, like, does Ten Hag want a player like that at his football club? We haven't even kind of looked at that. I know he's talked about him in a way of he scores goals, and what did he say in his comments? I can't remember. What did he say? Did he say he's a good goal scorer or something like that? But I still think, go on.
No, he did mention that he's a good goal scorer, but he didn't want to talk much about it. He said, I'm going to leave it up to the club whether he comes back or not, which he basically tried to say, like, yes, I could talk about him as a footballer, but it's bigger than that. Like, we're not critiquing if he comes back or not based on his footballing ability. It's based on everything else. So there wasn't much for him to say about it, and I don't even blame him, because what can you do?
Yeah, exactly. I think footballing aspect, yeah, you're probably right in this comment. Ten Hag would want him back, but again, it's the politics side. He's always thinking, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know where this football club is going in terms of the ownership, man. Forget anything else. Like, that's what I want to know. This kind of question just comes up because it gets brought about. Every time it gets brought about, you kind of need to talk about it. So, yeah, man, I think for me, like I said, it is what it is. We have to find out more updates, but that's just the update we wanted to give you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it is a situation that everyone's talking about. So let's just see what happens, man. On loan, who gets him? It is what it is. It's up to debate. But please, guys, make sure you do like the video. There's only 360 of you in here. Please smash the like button on the video. Let's get the algorithm up. But let's talk on the other side of it. Mason Mount still, man. I don't know if you guys heard, man, but Chelsea are still pressing for 70 million plus add-ons for Mason Mount. David Ornstein, who, listen, man, he's spot on in most things that he says here. But Chelsea expect 70 million plus 10 million add-ons for Mason Mount. That's coming to the latest podcast on 5 UK. Bro, man, it's getting tiring, this, man. These men are just trying to fleece us, innit? Like, trying to fleece us, man. Silly prices, man. What are these lot on, man?
You want to take this one, Michael?
Top boy.
I can go all day about Mason.
I mean, Staffy knows in America, Top boy is a crazy man. This guy he thinks it's NBA, and if he's just trying to drive up the price, I don't know what he's trying to do. Yeah, he's a crazy guy. I don't even know what they're trying to do, because let's say he has 1 year left on his contract. We can approach him in 6 months officially to get him on personal terms and everything for next season. So they have no leverage. They're FFP. They can't afford that many players right now. We saw what happened with Ugarte. They couldn't really go above their value because they were trying to, allegedly they were trying to buy Sporting. That's the situation that's come over there at Chelsea.
Yeah.
So they have no leverage. So John Murtaugh, he should set a value, which I think a lot of people have said is 55 mil. That's the price that United will want to pretty much get him at. That's the sticking price. If Chelsea don't want to negotiate for that, step away. There's plenty of midfielders in the market that you could go for. I know Ten Hag really wants him because he saw him at Vitesse when he was in the Eredivisie, and he really likes the player. But we also have our own money problems, and we can't really go above our own values for players because we have a lot of places to address. So talk with Chelsea, try to negotiate it. Maybe go to 60 mil maximum if you want to meet a halfway point, but can't really go above
not
that.
Even 60.
Not even. I wouldn't go that much.
But
with John Murtaugh, this guy doesn't really. He isn't the best negotiator on the planet. We saw what he did with Anthony and Leach, where he had to pay above the market value. So just try to get it done with the next 2 weeks. If not, because we see what Liverpool are doing on the other side. They already got McAllister. Kefren Turam is probably coming soon. They're going after Manu Kone. So they're getting their business done early. We can't do that because Liverpool, Arsenal, all these teams are improving. And before we know it, we're once again behind the curve. Again and again. So United just needs to start stepping it up with prices. If Mount wants to come, but if Chelsea don't want to negotiate because they're Chelsea and Tabo is a very stubborn individual, he doesn't like to lose, I guess. But I would just move on.
Look at this Carefree Lewis, man. Run the piece, man. Get out of here, man.
I
I'm
hate this
saying,
guy,
man,
bro.
these Chelsea fans, they're trying to fleece us, man. Like, for me, I think Mason Mount, yeah, if I was to accept anything from Mason Mount, I don't really like the profile anyway, the sort of player that he is. It would be two midfielders plus Mason Mount, not just Mason Mount, and then you're buying another midfielder who isn't going to basically elevate the rest of them. Like, that's why I kind of look at it. But Ten Hag, Staffy, is persistent. It's just whether we're stupid enough to pay that money again. Because if Ten Hag wants someone, he pays over the odds. He wants it. Like, he tells the club, Anthony, 90 million, pay for it. Lisandro, obviously, in hindsight, it's been worth the money. But we should have paid 35 million, 40 million for Lisandro. I think he rose up to like 55 million. I think it was. So
Go ahead, finish first, then I'll.
you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like we're gonna overpay it. Like no doubt of that. If we do, we're gonna overpay it.
Here's the thing when you said Lissandro and Anthony, the situation was different. We overpaid because we were so incompetent last summer. These guys were offered to us, if I'm not wrong, they were offered to us at a combined 100 to 120 at the beginning of the summer. And then we stalled all summer trying to negotiate for De Jong first and trying to get some deals done first. And by the time we came back for them, Ajax already had sold Gravenberg, what's the striker name? Sebastian Haller.
Oh, yeah.
They sold like a bunch of
Haller.
players where they were like, listen, we already like made some of the profits that we want. We already made some signings ins and outs. We don't really need to sell anymore. So like the price has went up, which was, as I said, it was incompetent on us. Whereas this one is different because this one off the bat, he's 70 million. And I can think of so many better ways to spend 70 million, you know?
Wow.
And I'm hearing this new thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're saying the whole homegrown quota, and you need to have a certain amount of players that are either British or English. I don't know if it's just if it's all of them or just you have to be English, whatever it is. And the under 21s don't count. But then I'm thinking of it. I'm like, well, if that's the case, we can go to Leicester and get James Madison for 40 million. And I'll tell you something, I'd rather spend that money on him. Excuse me. I'd rather spend that money on him than Mason Mount, because at least this guy, I know he wouldn't mind coming off the bench for Bruno or rotating in certain games, and he can also play on the right side for us. And at least we know what he's good for. You know, we know he's good on set pieces. We know he's a creative number 10 or plays on the right-hand side. At least I have more vision, or like I could tell you what this guy does over Mason Mount. Mason Mount, we don't even know his best position, and he's overpriced. So the whole homegrown quota thing makes no sense to me, because I don't need to spend 70 million to meet my homegrown quota. Like, it doesn't make sense at all. You know, this is why you go sign those backup goalkeepers like Butland and Heaton and Carson and them men there. You don't spend 70 million.
Or promote the youth.
Well, the youth doesn't count, because what I heard is that the youth are not registered if they're under 21, so they don't count. Yeah, if you're under 21, you're not.
Then it comes down to just go buy better quality than in Madison.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. And what's his name? Flawless said it best. He was like, I don't mind if Ten Hag wants to change the way that he wants to play, or his identification of talent, what he needs, because he wanted De Jong and now he's going for a different player in Mount. But at least go for the best in class. And I 100% agree with that, because we have so many times went for the second best or the third best or the fourth best in their position. And when's the last time where we really, besides Casemiro, because probably Casemiro can argue when we signed him, he was the best in his position. But when you look at it, when do we ever go and buy the best player in their position in that year or in the past few years? And it doesn't really happen a lot, you know? So this whole homegrown quota thing doesn't make sense to me. His profile as a player doesn't make sense to me. The tactics, it's just like, so far, no one has convinced me why Mount is a good signing for us. And as much as the Chelsea fans want to laugh about it, and Carefree Lewis and all of them, no one can actually, on a serious note, tell me why this guy's good for us. And that still worries me. So it's been 2 weeks and no one has told me why.
I can explain it somewhat, to be fair.
Listen, be my guest. You'd be the first one.
No, be it. We want to hear different opinions, man.
Yeah,
like, tell us.
Based on what I think Ten Hag is trying to do, I think he's trying to rebuild his last Ajax side the last couple of years, which was the high double advanced 8s, the 6 with like a center back or a full back tucking in, which would be Luke Shaw or Lissandro next to Casemiro for sense. So Bruno is obviously one of the high advanced 10s or 8s on the right hand side, so he needs someone on the left hand side. Which honestly there aren't that much that you could really buy. Like, I know you guys say James Madison, but he's more. I don't think he doesn't have the out of position presence that a Mason Mount has. Which if you're gonna play,
I don't
really
think he does. I think for me, I've watched Leicester and I looked at this guy's on the right, this guy's in the eight, he's everywhere. Like his energy for me is like it's a lot, man. But then again, he's not maybe agile like Mason Mount.
That's the thing. I
Maybe
think
that's
to play that specific style, you need to be athletic. You need to be in a very athletic team because in transition, you could get cooked really easily if you don't what's it called? You don't track back properly. And Mason Mount, while he has very many limitations on the ball, in my opinion, he has tunnel vision, as I like to call it. But he is great off the ball, tracking back, pressing. He's one of the best pressing advanced eights in football. So I think that's what Ten Hag sees in him. And Ten Hag is probably hoping that he could replicate 2021 Mason Mount in a sense. That's his plan. But I don't. But we also say a lot of people. What's the excuse that they use for Mount? They hope that he could do what Rashford did. Rashford had that poor season, and he bounced back. They're hoping that Mason Mount is very similar, which I don't know if he is, but I think that's the way I think Ten Hag sees it. That's his explanation. I hope. Otherwise, if it's just like Mason Mount's like world class or something, then that's not it. But I think it's just a style of play.
So can I respond to that?
I'm going to read the super chat here first of all because Zayn Miassi is going to throw us off on a tangent. He said, "Do you see a Ramsdale valued highest goalkeeper in the world? Caicedo, Rice, Gundogan incoming. We will challenge for Champions League and League." Oh my God, Zayn Miassi, lay off the shisha pipe. I know it's a hot day in the UK. I know you're probably in a shisha garden right now. Please lay off the. And listen, you ain't getting Caicedo, man. You ain't getting him. You ain't got the facilities. We'll talk about Caicedo. So just stick around.
Wait, can I respond that to Saeed first?
Yeah, go on, you go.
To Zayn, because I know you're saying that based on what I said, that we don't get the best in class. Now, please, Zayn, remind me how much you paid for Ramsdale. Because you didn't break the bank for Ramsdale. If I remember, Ramsdale was what, 30, 35, something like that?
Yeah.
It was around that? You're talking about double of that for Mount. So I appreciate you trying to say that, but like, just come with the facts next time so you don't have to get dunked on, because Ramsdale did not cost you that much. But thank you. But go ahead, Saeed.
Yeah. I was going to say to you, when you analyze, probably it was 25 million. When you analyze, Ten Hag's assessment of Mason Mount, like, do you reckon he's done that from research from Vitesse Arnhem, or is he doing that from looking at him over the development of the years, like watching videos, watching his kind of, you know what I mean? Like, is it from that though? Like, be honest, because I don't see it like that. I don't know what it is, if I'm being honest with you. Because I look at it, I'm thinking, if you're seeing a player development, you watch him, and this season you barely watched anything of him because he's been injured.
Yeah.
But where do you see it? Because I'm unsure.
I'm hoping it's the latter, that he just watches development at Chelsea and that he's not just focusing on Vitesse, because that's 5-6 years ago. A player he was like 18 at that time. He's a much different player now, in my opinion. So I hope that I'm gonna assume that he's looking at the 2021 tape, the year that Chelsea won the Champions League, and he's just hoping that Ten Hag is a very like stubborn and egotistical person in the sense that he thinks that he can get the best out of everyone. He wants to coach players. We saw what he done with our squad. He tried to get the best out of most of these players, and these guys aren't even that good. So he's hoping that Mason Mount, he saw the ability and the potential and certain attributes, like I said, the out of position specifically, and he's hoping that with other players around him, that on the ball quality can help. Because no offense to like the Chelsea, like, it's gonna be a little different playing with I think maybe like a Garnacho and a Rashford than playing with like a Havertz and a Werner. He's hoping that maybe better players around him can help him a little bit. The thing with Mason Mount, I said the tunnel vision, but this guy's passing is not that good in the final third. That's what worries me a lot. He's a good set piece guy. Like, he's really good on corners and everything, but that final pass isn't something that Mason Mount is really good at.
Oh, he has 9 assists from open play, bro. Just say it how it is, bro. He has 9 assists in his career.
I'm trying to be respectful to Mason Mount.
No, just say how it is. We have to let people know, bro.
It has a tran creation the last 41. I don't know how many. I think Winter Surface had some mad stat. Like,
it's bad. It's bad.
It's crazy. Yeah. But the thing is, for me though, I just worry about isolating Casemiro. If you're going to play 2 8s, like you said, isolating Casemiro for me is very, very worrying, because I don't think he's the greatest in terms of being press resistant. I don't think he is. In terms of being technically sound, he's decent on the ball. He can do, you know what I mean? He don't lose the ball as much as what people assume he does. But I wouldn't just leave him on his own. If it's De Jong, it's a different situation.
He won't be on his own, to be fair, though. Like, I think the system will call for, I think Shaw specifically will be inverted a lot. And I think so I think Ten Hag has that plan. So obviously you don't want Casemiro to be by himself, because I'm not his biggest fan of him on the ball. I don't think he's that great on it. I think he's very limited in a sense. He has some decent moments, but like Casemiro is good next year. He's gonna have to refine his game a lot. He cannot be doing these Hollywood passes from deep. He's gonna have to leave that to the Mounts and Bruno's to let them do that because he's just gonna have to keep it sound, 5-6 yard passes, keep it like that. But like I said, this specific system, there might be a lot of games where you see us dominate. I think we're gonna dominate like low blocks and everything, but in the big games, Ten Hag will have to be perfect with his game plan because it can get bad, especially in away games. We saw what happened this year. That can get replicated if off the ball our players have to be perfect. Like Luke Shaw cannot be lackadaisical and switch off at times. He has to be always switched on. Whoever on the right hand side is Wan-Bissaka. Why he's so great defensively? You've seen Wan-Bissaka switch off many times. He starts jogging because he's
That's why we're linked with
too confident.
Dumfries. We're linked with
Yeah,
Dumfries.
let's not do that. We shouldn't do that. We need to stay far away from Denzel Dumfries. There's better players on the market than Denzel Dumfries. No disrespect to him, but this is better out there.
Big up on your Keba. Big up my guy. He says we need a DOF. His first question to Ten Hag should be, "What's your style of play? Possession versus PMP." If the question is possession, why Mason Mount? Well, I don't think it. Well, I'm still
PMP.
gonna hope
PMP.
it's not PMP. But again, PMP.
But you just said we're gonna dominate low block, which one? Like I wanted to ask you about that because you just said PNP and then you said we dominate low block. Like which one is it? Because dominating low block, you don't need PNP.
But you know what I think Ten Hag is building his team into a Jurgen Klopp side. Jurgen Klopp, he dominated low blocks most of the time for Liverpool. Obviously, there were times where they get caught in transition and everything, but they dominated low blocks because a lot of teams didn't want to go toe-to-toe with them possession because they saw how efficient Liverpool are on counterattacks, and I think that's what Ten Hag wants to build. He wants to build a team. Our counter press is gonna be up there. It was up there for most of the year. Obviously, we kind of switched off to the end because we got very tired, but he wants to build a perfect counter press, which is why he's going for Mason Mount because Mason Mount is one of the best pressers, like I said. Bruno's one of the best pressers. We're going to get a 9 most likely, which isn't going to be Harry Kane. So we're talking about a Højlund up there who's a good presser. He's young. He's energetic. Rashford, not the best presser to be fair. But Anthony, he's a decent presser. So he's going to go for like those kind of guys. And I think other teams will have to go into a low block because if they try to play a high line against us, we're just going to cook them in transition. They have no hope against us because we're just going to be too efficient. You can't play a high line against Rashford because one ball over the top from Bruno and it's lights out. So So I think that's the sense how he's going.
All right, but to play the way that Liverpool played, first of all, like I just want to name a couple deficiencies in our team that would allow us to play like that. Because that PNP that Liverpool played, the best thing about it is whenever they lost the ball, they got it back right away. That's how that midfield worked like an engine. Mm-hmm. That midfield was not there to just like pass the ball around, whatever. They were there to play like they were just literally the engine. They were legs in the midfield. But you also had Trent on the right hand side, who would put I don't know how many crosses per game he would put. He had there was that 1 year where him and Robbo had the two highest. Were they the most defenders, or I forgot? Just in general, they had the most assists in the league. Him and Robbo. It just shows you how much those two fullbacks were crossing the ball into the box. And not only that, their defender was in his prime, who was Van Dijk, and he was able to defend on his own a lot. Where he was very good on one-on-ones, which is why they afforded to give away the ball whenever they did, the way they played. Because like whenever they got hit by a counter, they had arguably at the time the best one-on-one defender to help to stop these counterattacks. And when we look at what we have right now, we don't have a Van Dijk. No matter how much you guys like Varane or Lisandro, they're not on that level that Van Dijk was on at that time. Our right back does not know how to cross the ball at all. Because Wan-Bissaka is not it, and that's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to have. I don't think that guy is good enough, but he doesn't do that. Now, Luke Shaw, you can argue that he could do that, but our team is not even equipped to play like that, and I don't think adding Mount makes that much of a difference. So if you're going to transition to that PNP, there's still a lot that needs to be changed because we don't even have that midfield. Do you think Bruno is a PNP type of midfielder who's going to, like, the minute we lose the ball, you're going to see him sprinting back, winning the ball back, like Wijnaldum, Henderson, and Fabinho used to do? Yeah. I don't see it happening at all.
The thing is, though, that Liverpool team, you said they attacked through their fullbacks. That system was predicated on that. This system won't be predicated on that. It will be based on Bruno and Mason Mount
version, man. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's a little different because I think Klopp's was a very basic, efficient PNP system. Ten Hag's a little more complicated because he's also using like Pep kind of principles, like in the inverted fullback and stuff like that. So it's a little different. So like I don't think we're going to be attacking through a full. It's a hybrid. I think a lot of people, a good writer that I follow on Twitter, he explained that Ten Hag is different than any other manager. He's not based on his own philosophy. He takes from other people. He's kind of like Carlo Ancelotti. He takes from other
he
philosophies.
He's adaptable.
Yeah, he's adaptable, and I think what
Which
he's
I
trying to
don't
do, he's trying to impose a little bit of pep, but he can't go full pep because we don't have the technical ability, and I don't think there's enough players on the market that Man United can go get personally that will get they'll track to. So he's just gonna try to also make it a PMP style. He was always a hybrid. He was the same thing at Ajax, except for that first team, which wasn't really his team. He went into that first Ajax team with De Jong. With De Jong was already there. It's not like De Jong didn't break through under him. De Jong was there when we played that Europa final against them. He started in that game, so he kind of went in there. He took that team. But once those guys left, the ZX, the De Jongs, the De Ligt, he built that team in his shape, and his shape was more of a Jurgen Klopp shape than it was a Pep shape in a sense. So I think he's going to go down that route. So it's going to be interesting. Ten Hag just needs to. I think he's settled, which I remember when we did another debate show, we talked about it with Dan and everything. We said Ten Hag needs to pick what philosophy he needs to go to, and then we'll back him on that. It seems like he has chosen to go with that 8 PMP side. So now we're gonna go after those players. Is Mount the best in the class for that? Not really. Can we go get Amanu Kone, who I think is more PMP in a sense?
But is that just kind of like, I'm not trying to say that Ten Hag's talent ID is quite basic.
That's bad. No, I've been saying it since June, bro. Since last June. It's pretty bad.
If you're looking for that pool, why not go around Europe and go and get the Kones and the other players that even Barella would be a good one, a good example. But he could also control as well.
Though.
Yeah, I mean, but again, we will go for that. I think it's just so simple to go to Mount. Like, is that where we're going? Like, is it just an easy option to get? Well, is he just thinking the ownership, thinking, right, I need you to go and get Mount because he plays in the English Premier League. I think you can get that done right. You can get that done right. Whereas if he says go and get Barella or go and get Kone or go and get someone else, it maybe becomes a bit difficult to acquire. So is he working within his means? Is he again got his hand behind tied behind his back?
I think he's working with a situation where someone's just unsettled at his club, and as you said, he's already English and proven. So it fits.
Yeah.
If there's a checklist that it fits so many of those checks that you wanted on that list.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it makes it right. I just don't think. Listen, I feel like this whole PNP talk only came out when we started getting linked him out. I'm gonna be very honest with you. You know, you say a lot. I actually love when you say that. You say these football tacticos. Coming up with all these terms or whatever.
You heard the word today, by the way. Do you know that word today, Mike?
Bro, I swear to God, bro. I was watching. What was it, Saeed? Mazula?
Oh, the Mazala. That's FM word. That's an FM word. That's from Football Manager.
Yeah. Football Manager. I seen all these. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, damn, man. Let me get some of these super chats in. And by the way, there's over 500 people in here. I don't know how many likes we're on, people, but we should be on at least 250 likes, man. Guys, please like the video. I know you're watching this. I know you're enjoying this, but the most you can do is like the video. Late stream. Come on, people, man. Zamias says here, Arsenal have 300 million budget after buying Rice and Caicedo. We have enough money for Ivan Toney and Osimhen. All your budget going on Mount. Listen, man, Ivan Toney. You really want to buy Ivan Toney when he's locked up right now and he's, you know what I mean? He's in a jailhouse. You know what I mean? He can't play football, man. So I don't know. And Osimhen, that's half of your budget there. So you will definitely not be able to buy Rice and Caicedo.
Zayn Messi, if you personally are funding that 300 million, I'll believe it. But no way your club is paying that 300 million.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
On your Keba, big up to you, my guy, for sending the donations. He goes, Sancho, Anthony are failed projects. If Eric Ten Hag lands Mount and misses out on Caicedo, he must compete for the D League and get the F out. Wow, we cannot be lenient on Eric Ten Hag next season. Should have chosen Cody over Anthony. The thing is, he wanted Anthony before Cody, so that would not make sense. But he in the summer, in the winter, he wanted Cody Gakpo, but Liverpool came in. He would suit that PMP that we're looking for. Like, you know what I mean? He would have been a better option in that 9 and tucking into midfield, and then Rashford running on, and then Anthony running on. Like, he would have suited the profile. But again, Liverpool came in 35 million, bro. Man, it is what it is, man. Anya Keba says here, buy players that will give us a chance home and away against the top 6 sides. That is how you compete. Mason Mount against the top 6. Shake my head. What is his record against the top 6, by the way? What is his record? Anybody know?
I don't think he has that much GA against him, to be honest.
Bro.
Bruno we need people in the comments to let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments, guys. But yeah, guys, we have to talk about Caicedo, man. Caicedo for me is an interesting debate online. Um, there's a report coming out today from Chris Wheatley, who's very, very close to the Arsenal kind of transfer news. And he goes here, understand Arsenal will lodge a new bid for Moises Caicedo, similar to the 75 million package rejected in January. Brighton's stance has changed since the winter. They were 100% no sale, but are now open to negotiations. You know what? It's a bit of a smart move from Arsenal, because they created a mess and then they came back now into the summer where Caicedo stayed and then realized, you know what? Like, you're gonna have to let me go though in the summer. You know what I mean? Like, it's Arsenal obviously have not won the league title as a result, but in terms of the long-term result, like they're gonna get him for what, 75 million, bro. I don't know how United are still not in that situation. Chelsea are gonna somehow worm their way in. I know they are. They will probably make that bid even more, maybe 80 million. Then Arsenal will have to,
Apparently Chelsea are gonna match every bid that Arsenal put. They're not gonna go above it, but they're gonna match every bid.
is it? But
That's
then
a
Champions
plan.
League no. So then he goes Arsenal then, surely.
Yeah,
But then
I think
wages,
he's going Arsenal. I think that's where
but
it's
then
gonna end
wages
up
come
going.
into it. Yeah, this is it, by the way. Mount has 4 GA in nearly 50 games against top 6. There you go. Surfer, I knew you were the one that gave it to me last time. Big up to you, my guy. But yeah, I think you know what, man. I think it's a travesty, Staffy, that United are not involved in this. You know what I mean? But
It makes me want to cry, Saeed. I'm not gonna lie, because the guy's amazing. I think he fits our team perfectly. Just imagine, Saeed. Just want you to sit there. Imagine, because you go to games. Imagine you wake up,
Yeah.
you're spending your day, you're on your way to Old Trafford. The team lineup comes out, and you're looking at your phone. Casemiro, Caicedo playing in the
Yeah.
midfield together. You're having a field day, bro. Like I
But-
think that's everyone's dream. You know what I mean? And instead, we're going for Mason Mount and these guys. I don't understand it, man. I think if I'm being really honest, I think he's gonna go to Chelsea, especially after the whole Ugarte transfer fell through, and he's going to PSG and all that. They
Yeah.
really need a midfielder because Kante's leaving, Kovacic is leaving. Jorginho already left. Loftus-Cheek. They actually don't have a midfield, so like
Yeah.
they have to sign players, and they're gonna take it seriously. And let's be honest, Ed, when's the last time we signed a player that was like heavily linked with like so many people trying to get him? We don't ever do that. Like the players that we get, we tend to be the only ones going for them, or we
Yeah.
overpay for them. That's it. We don't really win bids. I can't, like, we lost the Gakpo, we lost Nunez. I can give you a list of players that we always miss out on when more than one team
Facts.
comes in for them.
Facts.
So
That's so
it's-
true,
Yeah, so it's sad, bro. I would love Caicedo in this team. I think he fits this team perfectly, playing in that number 8 role. Michael, how you just describing it as like 2 advanced 8s and all that because of the energy and retention and all that. I think Caicedo can do everything. I think he can play low. I think he can play high up the pitch. He's very good at winning the ball back. He's good at progressing the ball and keeping the ball. I think he was the perfect signing for us. And I thought Arsenal going for Rice was the perfect distraction for us because he's going to cost them an arm and a leg.
But they're
So
going for
while-
both. They go for
I don't
both.
think, but I don't think they'll get both sides. When has Arsenal
they
ever
will.
pulled up
I
two?
think they will. I think they're getting both.
I think he goes to Chelsea,
Arsenal
honestly.
serious, man. Arsenal serious. They're
I
gonna
don't-
get rid of Partey. They've already
They got money.
Xhaka.
Jorginho's
then
leaving
it's
too. Jorginho's leaving to Lazio apparently.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
is it?
Jorginho's going to be
Yeah.
like, what, 10 million? Yeah, but he's going to get them barely
When did that come out?
This
When
morning
did that
from
come out?
from a report in
Today.
Italy from Corriere dello Sport or something like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry wants him obviously because Sarri coached him at Napoli and Chelsea. So
Yeah.
Oh, Jorginho will leave Arsenal. Sarri wants to sign the player. Damn, that's a good signing here in the Italian league, where he can go play until he's 35, but he can.
He fits
smoke
the
that
Serie A more than the league and the Premier League anyways because of his age and, his physicality and all that.
physicality,
but-
yeah.
Yeah,
On-
but the whole Caicedo thing actually to me comes down with Arsenal comes down more to Thomas Partey rather than Jorginho because they also don't know what they're gonna go do with Partey if he stays or not. With this whole also his case that we don't really know much details about. So, but as I said, I really think he goes to Chelsea if he goes to anyone, just because of like how they actually don't have midfielders. We're talking about Jorginho leaving in that, but they actually don't have midfielders. Kante already left. So they don't have anyone to play next to Enzo. Who are they going to play? Conor Gallagher and what's his name? I forgot. Some other bozo from the
Enzo.
bozos they have. No,
they're gonna
next
get,
to Enzo.
They're getting Lavia. I think Chelsea are gonna end up winning the Lavia sweepstakes. by
Chelsea,
default.
yeah. Oh shit! I've opened talks with Lavia. Chelsea
Yeah,
have opened talks with Lavia.
he's gonna go there. I
Damn,
think. I just
that's
think
about
Arsenal are getting, what do they call it, the Caicedo pivot or something like that. They're calling it the Rice and Caicedo. I think they're just gonna end up with that. It's just Arsenal have
okay.
money. They have rich owners. The Kroenkes ain't no joke. Stan Kroenke is a rich guy, and his team's about to win the NBA championship as well. So he loves
Well,
winning
London,
right now.
though, are they a good source? And by the way, let me just get these super chats in. Anya Keba says we'll drop the bag on Caicedo as a man will make difference in our team over Kane. Kane is dollars down the drain with our piss poor midfield. Eric Ten Hag is suspect. Yo, Anya Keba, man, are you watching my guy Nedu, man? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, what's going on Anya Keba? You know what I mean?
Yo, Saeed Neto was wild today, by the way, when he was telling you we should go get Julian Alvarez and that. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Yeah, Nedu was going wild, man.
I don't know what was that.
Yeah. Zane Mias is here coming in again saying Jorginho can stay next season and he'll be better than Casemiro. Oh my God. He got nominated for Ballon d'Or. Casemiro only gets red card. Listen, Casemiro's a 5-time Champions League winner, man. Listen, this guy has been multiple team excels, everything. Like, this guy is one of the best DMs in the last how many years that we've been watching football. Like, come on, man. There's levels, Zane Mias. So get off your pipe and you know what I mean? Stop smoking it. You know what I mean? It's too much now, man. That's too much pipe now. But yeah, I don't know. Football London, guys, are they reliable, people? Let me know in the chat. Football London, are they reliable? Let me just show you. Because again, it's an option that United could explore if it comes to kind of fruition. It says here, Chelsea have open talks for Romeo Lavia, Football London correspondents. But again, I don't know how reliable these guys are. As reported by Felix Johnson. Listen, man, this guy's just a normal, average Twitter account, man. But yeah, let me know in the chat, guys. Football London, are they reliable? Let me know in the chat, man. But they're stinky tapping merchants. Okay, say no more. Yeah, trust me, Arsenal owners going to invest in some Arteta shade mentality. Like, yeah. Listen, I think when you go so close but yet so far, it makes you more determined, didn't it, Michael? Like when you look at it, like. And that's why Arsenal are going to go in ham, man, and buy 2 midfielders. And then obviously it depends on what they go up front. I don't think they'll change it much up front. Maybe they might go buy a second striker, maybe. But, bro, you know what I mean? Like, it's mad. Felix is apparently reliable, has inside sources. Okay, say no more.
I believe the Lavia's at Chelsea. Lavia's been linked with all the big six, so it's kind of makes sense that him and also Todd Bowley wanted him last year. Remember when he got signed to Southampton and Todd Bowley put in a bid like a week later? He's like, I'm trying to get this guy. So they've been interested for a while, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said to you, I don't know much on that situation, but I think it just shows you like how this is like midfielders there. If we don't go and get them. You know what I mean? Like even the little ones that you see, Koku and Enzo Lefebvre, they're staying in France right now. Like even the ones that you kind of like, Manu Kone is going to kind of is it going to Liverpool?
Yeah,
Thuram's going to Liverpool. Like all these little gems that have come out in the past year or two. Like if you were to name like gems now in midfield now, they were the ones that midfielders now are becoming abundance now. You can go and get them if you want to. But
this is why it's frustrating, Saeed. This is why it's frustrating. In with all these names that you just named, we're going for Mason Mount only, and that's the strongest link. Like, I actually think it's pathetic, bro. Like from all these big names that we named, or even the gems coming. Why am I not hearing enough about Lavia? The only one that I heard about, I forgot what was his name. He was from the French league yesterday. If anyone can remind me, and they were saying if we basically don't go for Mason Mount, he's going to be the replacement. If someone in the comments remember, it broke out these notes.
I think it was a defender instead. I think it was instead of Kim and Jay. It was Disasi, the center.
Oh, was it a defender? Yeah. Okay, never mind. I thought it was a midfielder.
What about this one here? What's his name that we played the Europa League Conference League yesterday? I think he's a top player.
Amrabat. We've been linked with him.
Amrabat. I heard about him. I will take Amrabat. You know who he reminds me of, Said? He reminds me of Ender Herrera a lot. That guy just does all the dirty work in the midfield. Yeah.
I think he's better. I think he's better on the ball than Ender Herrera. To be fair, I think he's a good.
Ender Herrera was decent on the ball, you know.
I think Amrabat's better. To be fair,
I haven't watched much of him. I rate him though.
Yeah. Also, the good thing about Amrabat, he's put in a really high possession side this year in Fiorentina, so he'll adjust really well with Man United. So it's not because we saw him from Morocco, right? It was a defensive.
Barca.
Oh, great. Speaking of Amrabat, my boy just showed me that he's leaning towards Bayern. He's on the Bayern shortlist.
Where? Say
Amrabat. DeMarzio just said it.
What the heck, man? Listen, man. What is all this bad news, man? Seriously. Let me
But
see
yeah,
where that is.
the Barca fan's right too, though. Barca are linked with him as well, but they're
Oh,
broke.
yeah,
So.
shit. Yeah. There it is, yeah. DiMarzio has just put it out there. What is it? 2 minutes ago, but that's come from the buying account, innit? Buying
Yeah.
Fans Arena. Let me just put it up here now. Guys, like I said to you, man, we're here, man. Transfer news, guys. Please like the video. Guys, how many likes are we on, people? Get the let me know in the chat, man. How many likes are we on? If we're not over 250, then it's a travesty, guys. But hey, yeah, you're right. Sufyan Amrabat is now on Bayern's shortlist. Declan Rice is leaning towards Arsenal. You know what? I think this is a good move for Bayern. Him and Kimmich would be beasts. Imagine retaining the ball. They would be absolute beasts.
Better than
But I think
Goretzka.
Kimmich is going to Barcelona, you know. I think no,
They don't
generally,
have money side. Where are they getting that money from?
how much do you reckon Kimmich is now in the market? Were you looking at Kimmich wise?
At least 70 mil.
I was gonna say 80, yeah. So we're about the same.
So I'm gonna say Kimmich DiMarzio in 2020.
He's not wrong, to be fair. DiMarzio ain't the most reliable these days.
No, but what did he do back in the day? What was that? Was it the Maradona, the death of Maradona? In it, he basically revealed it too early or something like that.
No,
What
that was
did he
someone
do?
else. That was someone else. That was
Someone else in it. What did he do,
yeah.
DiMarzio, that kind of tainted his legacy? I think he done something in it.
Dybala. I think it was the Dybala. I think he really linked United with Dybala, and like it kind of broke down a lot. And it just we haven't trusted him since then.
Yeah, Kimmich for me. Imagine United got Kimmich. Oh my days.
Don't make me dream side.
Barella linked with United. Please check. Listen, I've not seen anything. Have you seen anything about Barella?
No,
I've seen
they're just saying that.
that might just be Italian rumors though. I don't trust the Italian media. They're really bad.
Barella won't leave though, man. Barella won't leave, man. He won't leave Italy, man. Like that's just the situation that's going on here. Now Kimmich is not going. Obviously, Kovacic is going to Man City, so you guys are not buying Kimmich. I don't know, man. Did you see Xavi was saying that we need an interior, we need a pivot. You know what I mean? Listen, you've got a perfect single pivot in Kimmich, man. You know what I mean? That can bro. I'm not saying he's an unbelievable Busquets replacement, but the fact that Xavi said that he needs what did he say, Xavi? Let me just find out what he said. For those that are watching, guys, like I said to you, it's one of them situations where we could be talking about everything, man. But what did he say here? Oh yeah, Kessie as well. Did you hear about Kessie, by the way? Musa was putting it in the chat today about Frank Kessie.
Liverpool, something like that.
Yeah, they got Romano kind of talked that down though. He's like, that's not
down.
real.
Yeah. What did he say here?
You know what it is, Said? I feel like when Barcelona, every time they need to generate some money, all these players just get linked to everyone. So I don't really take a lot of them seriously until they come from like a reliable source.
Yeah, no.
All these rumors were coming out.
Yeah, he said here. Fabrizio Romano says, Xavi announced a priority side. I need two sides in midfield. I like an interior with Busquets' departure. We also need a pivot. Why can't Ten Hag just come out and just say this, you know, man? Like you don't be honest with us, innit? Like say I need a advancing 8 and I need a you know what I mean, like a first phase player. Why don't you just be honest? This is why imagine I heard this from a manager. Like I don't know about you guys, but I'd be so at ease knowing that this is what the manager wants, and then I can be happy. But right now, I don't know what the manager wants. Does he want a guy who sits? Does he want an advanced 8? Does he want another destroyer? What does he want?
So the chat is right. I just checked. So apparently Ten Hag coached Sufyan Amrabat.
He did.
In Holland.
He did.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I thought it was his brother. I was like, let me check.
I found that out yesterday.
He managed him in 2016. Yeah.
His brother talked about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A big on your comment says we cannot miss out on Altani as well as the best ballers. The summer will push man to the edge of depression. Eric Ten Hag HUD is not helping. We will talk about the ownership situation as well at the end as well on the video. But you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Xavi kept it. My G, I need. You know what I need? Again, it's difficult. It's different as an owner rather than a legend. Imagine you're a manager, but then you're a legend. You could just say what you want, though, innit? Like Xavi.
It's just Barca too, though. Like we look at who their DOA. It's Laporta. This guy talks every 2 minutes. We have John Murtaugh, who we hear maybe once a year. So it's just like it's just the way different. It's the way they work.
We hear him once a year, man.
Yeah. Even the Bayern people, they always come out with news and they tell them what's going on in their club and stuff like that. They engage with fans. We never have anyone who engages with, and this is actually Ten Hag probably engages with us the most, and it's still not enough, you know. Like him coming out like last week or whatever, saying that he told the club that he needs better quality for this
Yeah.
team to win tournaments or whatever and trophies. That's the most we've ever heard from a manager. We never hear anything. Oli never gave us anything. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. It's so true that when you look at it, but there are you know what it is in midfield though. There's Caicedo. Who would you put as your let's look at tier listing here, midfielders here. Michael, who would you put as your first tier of midfielders that Man United should be getting? And then we'll go down to like tier 2 and tier 3 and that. But who would you put on the top tier list? Because I'm putting De Jong, Caicedo as the top tier.
That's my. I mean, De Jong. I gave up on that guy last year. This guy's not coming to Man United. I'm not entertaining any things about De Jong unless I see him hold that United jersey. If he holds that United jersey, then I'll believe that he's coming. Otherwise, I don't care about that guy. But it's just Caicedo, really. I'd probably put like maybe Declan, not top tier, but he's like really close to the top tier. But he's going Arsenal, so it doesn't really matter. It's just Caicedo.
Stuffy, what would you say top tier? Like I mean, the ones that you think United should be getting.
The midfielders or in general?
Midfield. Let's focus on
Caicedo.
midfield.
I'm dreaming of Caicedo, Saeed. I think he's absolutely what we need. He's everything we need in that team.
Yeah.
I rate Rice highly, but I don't think he's what we need. So before people say, "Oh, you rate him more than Rice," it's not that I do or not. I rate them both very close. But when you look at Caicedo, the qualities that he possesses is perfect for our team. And it's gonna kill me if he goes to another Premier League club, because I know if we get him, that midfield is serious.
Facts. Yeah. I'm gonna say second tier. I say, which is still good. Amrabat, Lavia. Who would I say second tier? Yeah, Amrabat, Lavia. Yeah, that I would say that be second tier. You know what I mean? What are you saying, Michael? Second tier.
I like that. Probably throw Barella in there because we can't.
Barella. Barella
go
would
after
be
him.
first tier. Barella would be first tier. But I just know he's not gonna come.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, Thuram. If we can somehow hijack that move, because we know who his owner is. Technically, there's also pissing me off. Kind of ownership talk. Jim Ratcliffe owns Nice. Thuram is their best player. I don't understand how you're letting this guy entertain talks with Liverpool when you could potentially be the owner by the end of like next week or something like that. So that's very sneaky to me, in my opinion, because he should be keeping Thuram at Nice, and then when that ownership goes through, you should be bringing him over here.
If he was smart,
he should be coming over here. That guy's perfect for us, because I think he's not a 6 either. I think he's an 8, so he'd be perfect for that kind of physical tall 8. But I think he'd be in that list, and like the guy you said, Amrabat. I think Rice would be my second tier as well. If we could potentially go for him, Lavia. I'm trying to think of anyone else.
Kakare.
Koshko would be in that list as well. I think he could play that advanced 8 role as well. McAllister would have been. Rennes, yeah.
Right,
him and Levy are apparently going.
Him and Levy. Yo, listen, I might have to watch that team next season.
It's a good team. I really like that team. They're a good team.
Yeah, man. Renee next season. I might have to do some watch-alongs, man. Telling you, man.
Another player that they have on there, by the way, that would actually be perfect for us, Lovro Maher. He'd be perfect for us. He's really good in that list.
Love? Who's that, sorry?
Lovro Maher from Croatia. He's plays for Renee. He's really good.
Oh, was he the one that came in towards the end of the tournament and everyone was kind of raving about him?
Yeah, he had I think he had a goal against Canada in like the World Cup group stages. He's a good player.
Yeah,
he could play. He's very versatile in midfield, and he could play. He really can't play on the wing, but I've seen him play there a couple of times. But he'd be good for that advanced 8 role that Ten Hag is trying to build.
Yeah, 100%. I think for me that's a good option. What about you, El Staffy? What's your second and third tier, like just in general? Midfield.
Well, I want to exclude Rice from this, not because I don't rate him. I just don't think he's the fit that we need. So when I don't include him, it doesn't mean that I rate him lower than the people that I'm about to say, because he's arguably better. I just don't think he fits the team. So behind Caicedo, I would say Lavia. Just to the fact that he's also Premier League proven side. Like I've watched this guy play whenever I watch the Southampton games, and I watch some of his games whenever I'm watching just Southampton games in general against anyone. I just think this guy is ready for the Premier League. I think he comes in and he makes this team perfect, and he's very young, so it's very easy to mold him into whatever the coach wants him to be.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of and Ten Hag is known for that. He likes, taking on young talent and improving them and making them play in multiple positions and all that. So I think there's a lot to do with him. So probably Lavia. I can't realistically say anyone else. Like I would love to say Barella and all that, but I don't think we're seriously linked with them. So I don't want to really waste our time on that. But
Yeah.
I would be so happy with those two sides. If we get Caicedo and Lavia, I'll be very happy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I think that again that would be
I don't
a
want the
proper-
Turkish guy that plays for Feyenoord.
Koçku.
Yeah, I think that guy's crap. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, I watched him, bro. Listen, if we want someone Turkish, we'll get Turkish from the Big Six, you know. But I don't I don't want that Turkish guy. I think that guy's garbage, bro. I've watched him. Nah, he gives me Bruno vibes, and not the good qualities of Bruno, the bad qualities of Bruno. So no, I don't want that guy at all.
That's fair.
Yeah, like I said, man, it's just depending on what we want in it. But we then got to talk about the striking issue, man. Listen, boy. This is the one, man. This is the one where we get a bit touchy feeling. You know what I mean? Let's just look at the striking option here. Harry Kane. Again, the keeper situation is another one as well. But where was the Harry Kane story that was popping out here? But I think before I go check it out, Harry Kane, Michael still, you know, the manager's not insisting on Levy not insistent on selling him. Where do we stop with Harry Kane? What should we do? Should we just put a bid in? Should we just wait? Like, is it because of the ownership situation? Is it Højlund? Like, do people really want Højlund next season started up front for Man United? Like, I feel like Højlund's just a fantasy for everyone, you know. Like, nobody's really watched him yet. I've watched him a couple of times for Atalanta. He's great. He's not a prolific goal scorer.
It's a project.
He's not even been starting, you know, for Atalanta. You know
He
that,
had,
guys.
he had a hip injury, to be fair. The man
He had a bit of an injury. I think he's more the one for the future. But if you need someone for now, you go and get Højlund and Kane. But what do you think, man? Do you reckon Man United are going to go with Harry Kane, man?
So what I've actually heard from one of my guys at the United Journal, the aggregator that I write for and stuff, and I do admin stuff. Like, we had an exclusive that Ten Hag is insistent on Harry Kane, and he's willing to wait until the end of the summer to bring Harry Kane in. He's willing to play the long game in the sense that he was trying to do with De Jong. That he thinks that United can somehow negotiate and get it over the line if Daniel Levy gets that desperate. But I think it would require Harry Kane to do a lot of legwork as well. He needs to put in the transfer request and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Personally, with me, with Harry Kane is, I put we set a value, which would probably be what, 80, 90 mil. We tell Daniel Levy, take that or leave it. We tell Harry Kane, if you want to move to Man United, you're gonna have to push for it. You gotta do the transfer request, go on strike, don't show up to training. It's time for you to step up in the sense that you want this move, you want to go to a bigger club. It's time for you to actually prove it. And other than that, I kind of like Højlund. I think he's a really good project. I think someone that Man United could work with. And I would just put Marcus Rashford as a starting striker next year. MR9, as I like to call him. And then have Højlund. I know it's not the best thing, but I think he could somewhat do it for a season. We saw the Telegraph said that we could potentially be looking to do that. Buy another left winger, put Rashford up top with Højlund for a year, and then wait for Harry Kane.
Oh, no. But, you want to go a whole year with Rashford as a striker?
I don't think he doesn't have to start it. I mean, I think Højlund can take over, but by necessity.
You just said he was a project, which I agree with you. But
But I trust that his attributes can really well work in the Premier League. The athleticism, he's a really good finisher.
I agree with you.
So go ahead. It's interesting. I think Rashford could actually work as a long. I think his future lies as a 9. Anyway, the left wing Rashford is over. We're never gonna see that version of Rashford that we saw in 1920 at the left wing. I think the injury kind of ruined that for him. He's lost that electric pace, and his dribbling has regressed in a sense. So I think as a 9 in the FA Cup final, yes, that last 30 minutes was despicable in my opinion. The effort and everything, but for those first 60 minutes, he was probably our best forward. He linked up play well. His back to goal play is improving throughout the season. Benny McCarthy's done a good job for it. And if with that double 8 system behind him with Bruno and whoever it is, we're going to get the chance create. We create a lot of chances. So I think it could work for a year. And then Harry Kane's either coming this year or he's coming on a free next year. No matter what, Harry Kane's future lies at Man United. So it's just going to be a matter of fact. So who we go with this year, because apparently Ten Hag wants both, by the way. He doesn't only want Højlund or Kane. He wants both. He wants the young striker and he wants the experienced guy.
Which I agree with. Because Højlund would be our Alvarez. He would be
Sell
our version of
Martial.
Alvarez, who's,
Yeah,
who's
get
good
Martial
enough.
out of here. Send him to Al Hilal, Al Ittihad.
Bro,
all
I'm telling
those
you, man,
Saudi
we should
Arabia,
tell him
man.
Saudi Arabia, man. They take him right.
They want the hair. They want give them Martial too, man. They got a plan for him
Martial,
over
man,
there.
Saudi Arabia. What are you telling me, man?
Him
Let
and
us know
Benzema
what
can
you
link
think.
up. So I just think it's interesting. It's a very that striker thing is so difficult because we're also looking at Kolo Muani, which I don't think will happen because I think he's too expensive. So
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna end up being Hoyland, to be honest. And I think you're gonna see a lot of Rashford at the 9 next year. And if hopefully
Yeah.
we could kind of see a replication of this year's results. 'Cause I think Rashford had a decent amount of goals at the 9. I think he probably ended up with, I'd say, 12 goals from the 9 position this year. Most of his goals came from the 9, which is a decent result. And if Hoyland could get more than Martial, which is not very hard to do, to be fair. So we say we get 12 goals from Rashford at the 10, at the 9, and then another, let's say 12 from Hoyland as well. That's what, 24, which is not a bad return. So it could probably work for a year to
And
get
then
us.
you need output for the wingers, man, and we ain't
That's
got
the
that.
interesting. That's the thing with we're gonna have to buy a winger, and what winger do we buy really? There's really not that many less wingers out there.
I don't
that
think
are
we're
gonna
buying
be,
a winger at all. We have so many wingers that we still need to
If
get.
Jadon
them
Sancho
forward.
wants to step up, if Jadon
That's
Sancho
what I
wants
was
to
gonna
step
say.
up,
We need Sancho to step up.
we need Garnacho. Garnacho
Anthony
needs to take that next
up.
step. Garnacho needs to
We
be able
need
to take that next
Garnacho
step
to
next
take the
year.
next step. Yeah.
But that's
Who
putting a
else
lot
do
of
we
pressure
have?
on a kid who
It is a
should be
lot of
still
pressure.
developing.
It is, but we've seen that happen before with all these wingers. Rashford had that same problem. He was meant to just be breakthrough and be a kid, and then that pressure went
Yeah.
on him. You're gonna have to deliver, and it's a shame
We
that's
have to
gonna
rely
happen.
on. We have to rely on Eric Ten Hag, obviously saying that Eric Ten Hag believes there's a real chance to sign Harry Kane. Hence his wish to see John Mill or at least test Daniel Levy's resolve. Bro, Daniel Levy negotiating. Murto negotiating. Drop me out, man. Yeah, I'm saying like he can't negotiate for shit. But then you've got to negotiate against Daniel Levy, who again it's a whole nother ball game you're talking about here.
This guy's trying to negotiate with Todd Bowley and Daniel Levy. This is terrible, man.
It's suicide. It's not gonna
And
happen.
they want a lot from us. You know, this is the thing now. United are just that kind of club where you even look at United, it smells money. You even look at United, you add on 15, 20 million on top of what it is. Like McAllister would have been easily 60, 70 million for United because of the way they would have dilly-dallied around. But
We're basically being asked for 200 million, Saeed, for Kane and Mason Mount. Because when you hear the news that Levy wants at least 100 million for Kane plus add-ons,
that's why this
and they
transfer
want
is not
70
making
million for Mount and add-ons, that's almost 200 million.
okay,
These
let's
prices
add it
are
all
insane.
up here. Let's add it all up. Let's add the transfer window all up here. Okay. Harry Kane, how much does he cost you?
I'd say if we do get him, I think it'll be at 110.
110. Can we agree? 110?
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
So I'm gonna add it all up now because I feel like for me we just have to just do maths right
Mind
now.
you, Bellingham just went for 120, and if they're looking at it, if a midfielder went for 120, how about a striker that guarantees you 30 goals a season? So that's why it's going to be something around that,
Okay,
even
110.
with his
Okay.
age.
Mason Mount, how much do you reckon we're going for? Like let's just round it up a rough figure.
I wouldn't pay more than 50, Saeed.
I think we'll get him for 60.
60. I think 60. I think we'll get it for 60.
Daylight robbery.
60 million. That is 170. 170 is gone. Yeah. And we got probably a budget of 100, 200 million, I reckon, for me.
Our budget right now is 100 mil pre-sales.
Pre-sales. Okay, I'm just looking at it just as what we want right now, what we need. We need
We're
a
a
keeper,
joke,
right?
bro.
Keeper. We need
Oh,
a
yeah.
keeper.
I think with keeper we're gonna end up signing that Anderlecht kid, Bert Verbruggen or something like that. I think
he
that's he's a prospect again, but he looked really good for Anderlecht. I think they made like the Conference League quarterfinal or something like that. He has really good his stats and like a lot of his underlying numbers look really good from what I've seen. He's a tall goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I think he's like 21, so it's a very young player.
Is that the
So-
Croatian goalkeeper or is that someone else?
Nah, I think he's Dutch. Apparently, like
Okay.
a lot of the Dutch guys rave him as like the next future thing for the Netherlands. So I think he'll be like 15 mil. So
15 mil.
it'll be a cheap deal.
15 mil. So we're on 185 million right now.
Center back,
Centre
Kim
back.
Min-jae.
Kim
which will be
Min-jae.
45, something like the price is around there.
45.
That's
I
what
heard
the
his
clause.
I heard his release
60,
clause
innit?
was 50
Oh,
million
50.
pounds, so 60 million euros.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I reckon 50.
Yeah.
It's got to be. You got to play the release cost, or Newcastle are coming in and
Yeah,
paying
it's,
that release.
whoever triggers the release clause again.
He's never gonna go above the release clause side because like when
Yeah.
everyone wants him, then you'll have to put a little bit over the release clause. I think he goes for like 50, more than 50.
50.
But
Let's
we'll
call it
say
50.
that. Yeah, call it 50 for now.
50 man now. Okay, cool. We're on 235 million. We still haven't bought a
We need another midfielder. We're buying another midfielder.
Van de Ven. Yeah, that's the one in it you're talking about.
No, I think it's some maybe I don't know. This guy's name is confusing me always. I think his last name is Verbergen.
We're on 235 million right now. That's the money we're looking at. Someone saying it. Where's this guy getting his figures? He's 42 million. I don't know. Even David Raya, apparently Brentford want 40 million. For him.
Yeah, they can. They're not. I don't want to pay 40 mil for David Raya. I think he's on his last year of his deal as well.
Yeah, Taro Martinez. I've heard suggested Lautaro told me. Okay, if they don't get Kane,
that's a club target.
Yeah. So yeah, we're on 235 million, and we've bought a keeper, a centre back, Mason Mount, and Harry Kane. So 235 million. Damn.
And that's not even a top keeper. That's a 21-year-old keeper.
If I was to change that and take out Harry Kane, so minus 110, we're on 125 million. We buy Hoyland.
40. I'd say 45 mil.
45 mil. 170 million. 170 million. We're on right now. That's just buying them players that we've just talked about. So
the thing is,
yeah.
I think if we don't get Harry Kane, I think potentially I don't think the club should do this as much as I'm a fan of him. They might go for Diogo Costa. They might.
Why aren't you not a fan of him?
I'm a huge fan of him. I think he's really
I thought
good.
You said you're not.
No, I am, but I don't want to spend 70 mil for a goalkeeper when we need so many. I want David De Gea gone more than anyone. I think.
I'll tell you why I disagree with you. But let me tell you why I disagree before you go on. You're talking about a position that's going to fill in for the next, I don't know how many years. You don't change your goalkeeper much. Look at De Gea. He's stuck with us for like 12 years. So you're talking about 70 million, but it's probably the most essential position that we have. I understand if you want to cheap out on a right back or on a midfielder, but I don't think we can cheap out on two positions next year. A world-class striker and a world-class goalkeeper. If we cheap out on one of these, we have to go again a year later because let's say you get a goalkeeper and the 21-year-old goalkeeper, let's say he doesn't develop well in his first year because 21 for a goalkeeper that's so young and he comes in and he has a stinker on his first year.
Yeah. And then he becomes number two kind of type feel. Exactly. You know, you become like a Kepa or a Mendy. You don't want Kepa or a Mendy.
Remember our first year with De Gea, we had him and Lindegaard switching in goal all season because De Gea used to make a lot of mistakes. You don't have someone else coming in for whoever we get this season. So I don't think you can cheap out on a goalkeeper at all. 70 million for a world-class goalkeeper actually sounds good because we were just talking about 70 million for Mason Mount. See how that one is different? Because this position is way more essential.
We saw
there's not a lot of good goalkeepers out there.
We saw what Man City did with their backup goalkeeper. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, apparently some breaking news. I don't know if this is real or not, but people are saying that Qatar executive flight to Heathrow right now. But that could be anyone, though, innit?
Doesn't Qatar own like half of London? So they could just be flying
exactly. It could be anyone, people, man. Yeah. And also, why is he going to London? Why are he not going straight to Manchester?
You don't fly directly to Manchester.
So most people that go with the United business don't they go to like Luton? Isn't that the airport that most people go with Manchester United when it's like
no Manchester Airport? You can go to Manchester Airport, but I don't know. Like this is like proper, like, you know.
She's just Twitter.
This is like scraping the barrel here, man. We're doing
some Arsenal detective stuff.
Man.
There's some Arsenal detective stuff that they do.
I think you fly back straight to Manchester. You got a private jet. You fly straight into Manchester, man. You don't mess around.
But isn't our headquarters we have a quarters in London anyways?
Yeah, you were about to London, say that too. Yeah, that's true, you know. That is true. That's a good point. Our offices are based in London. So they might be doing you know when like they come in with a bag and like they're ready and like they come in like, you know, fully like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're coming in loading, man. But again, it's clutching, bro. It could be anyone, man.
Coming in with briefcases, black suits.
Yeah, man. You've got one of them pictures, man. Like, they're coming in like proper. You know what I mean? Like they ain't messing around, man. You get me? Fans are desperate, bro. We're desperate, man. Like, it's big tomorrow, you know. We don't even spoke about it, but it's big tomorrow, man. You know what I mean? Tomorrow, I don't know what time they'll say. It could be any time, man. But preferred bidder, do you think though? Like, Michael, does it change anything for you? Like, because still the bid's there. it's still a preferred bidder. Whether they close that bidding, you don't know. But does it change anything for you? Like, it only depends if Qatar fully, like, if he speaks out, Al Thani says, "Yo, I'm out." Like, that's it now. I'm out.
I can't lie. I don't think Qatar have a chance. I think they're the Glazers and everything. And I think they're already done the deal with Ratcliffe. I think Ornstein said it today too. It's Ineos are very confident, and I think what's it called? Rain haven't talked to the Qatar like Sheik and everything. They haven't really negotiated with them like over 2 weeks. Qatar just keeps sending bids, and the Glazers pretty much reject them because they're gonna stay with Ratcliffe. They got their end goal. They know what they got their own goal. That's staying at the club and getting their shares. So I think it's gonna end up being Ratcliffe, to be honest. I think it's pretty much almost a done deal.
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, you're right, man. I'm looking at it more so in that sense. I think it's kind of done in that sense. But again, you just got hope in it. You know what I mean? We just got to hope tomorrow that we hear some good news in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people saying that, speak to American guys over there. I stopped the bid, but bro, them man are there, man. It's just it, bro. We don't even know, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm like,
I'm
yo,
convinced
man,
he doesn't exist. I'm convinced that guy does. I've only seen 2 pictures of him. He's not a real person.
that picture, like one picture as well. We've had one picture. You know what I mean, bro? Like, what's this guy? Is it AI and that? What's going on, man? Is he AI, man? You know what I mean? Like,
Listen,
man.
he's the final boss. That's why he doesn't appear that much. It's his people around him that do that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, he's the final guy that you meet. You know, when you watch a movie and that, and you get
Exactly.
that last part, like, he's that guy, and then he just comes up like this, like, he just goes like this, just appears like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he is. Like, he's just that kind of guy. He might just come in and just give us that bombshell, like, I'm here. I'm
Yep.
here, like, you know what I mean? We ain't been around, like, and that would be crazy, man. Just imagine, like, the scenes next season, everyone come in a robe, you know, Old Trafford lit, you know what I mean? New stadium plans, a mall outside Old Trafford. You get me? Like, it's crazy, man. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up soon, people. Yeah, man, big day tomorrow, man. Michael, just any last thoughts on your kind of feelings towards the transfer window and just general?
First of all, I want this ownership thing done with, whoever it is at this point. I don't care whether it's Ratcliffe, whether it's Qatar. I just want some clarity because whenever we do get this preferred bidder, we can start getting this transfer business still. Because Ten Hag, like, we talk about who he wants, but it's clear who he wants at this point. So now it's just go get his guys. Start putting in bids and everything and just go get his guys. We see what Liverpool did. I'm sure Grizz is very happy right now. He got McAllister. He's probably going to get Thuram. He's got Kone. They got the Instagram pictures already. Thuram and Kone are linking up in Paris and everything. So they got the good vibes over there. Arsenal getting the Caicedo pivot. It's just Chelsea that are miserable right now because they're like 12th place. So
Yeah.
I just want my players in. So because we know what preseason is coming soon, right? Next month. Obviously they're
Yeah.
coming over here. So when this preseason time, when I go to MetLife, I want to see new players. I want to see our new signings. I want to go see Amad Diallo hopefully as well. Hopefully Ten Hag gives him minutes. But I want to see like these new signings to kind of get a fresh wave of energy because obviously what happened last weekend again in the derby in the final was very sad. So new signings are like the only thing that gives you like that dopamine. You get hype. Whatever the player is, even if it's Mason Mount, you're gonna start getting copium and you're gonna start believing in the sense. You're gonna see that one comp, Mason Mount, like hitting a long shot. You're like, oh yo, this guy can do this over here. I know Steph probably don't think that, but I'm a very
You lost me at that. I was
Nah,
like,
you know,
yes,
yo,
yes, and then you
now
lost me at May.
you know what? When we get a new sign, bro, because Anthony, I hated that on that guy all summer. I'm like, I don't want to sign him, and then this guy scored against Arsenal, and I got gassed. I'm like, this guy's gonna be it, and then 2 months later, I hate on this guy again. But it's just that new signing dopamine gives you like such good feelings, and I just want that because I want a signing, whoever, even if it's like a free signing, I just want something. Like, yeah, Burnley already in preseason. Vincent Kompany already got them working like the Prem's going to be World War III. So,
Yeah.
we just need new signings.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy, man. Staffy, your kind of closing thoughts. And guys, 21 more likes. Let's get to 300 likes at least, people, man. Come on. Let's do it, people.
We're 15 likes away. We're at 285 right now. So
yeah,
by the time
285, man. Let's do it, people. Let's do it, man.
By the time me and Saeed finish closing this, saying our final words, I hope to see these the next 15 likes. But yeah, man, I'm just gonna echo a little bit of what Michael said. You know, I just need this ownership thing handled already. You know, I'm not gonna say what you said. You said I don't care who it is. I actually do care who it is. So tomorrow when I go to pray Jummah, and Saeed, when you go pray Jummah, you know, when you're praying for health and all that, just remember the last dua to be Qataris in, inshallah, because you know the future of our club is really like relying on this decision tomorrow if it actually comes out tomorrow. So hopefully Qataris in Sir Jim Ratcliffe, please stay away from our club, And from there, we'll see about these signings, bro. Because the minute if we get the Qataris in, I'll talk different. I won't be talking mountain them. I'll be talking big names. So it all depends on that tomorrow, hopefully. So we'll see. But big up for having me, Saeed. Big up for everyone in the comments.
Yeah, man. People are
big up for
liking the trio, man. You know, we call it the New Yorkers, man. We might call this the New York show. Let me know if you wanna, because I'm like I said to you, I'm gonna be a New Yorker soon. You know what I mean? So we might call it the New York Live, innit? Like, we'll see if there's a.
I sent Saeed a whole list of places to go to when he comes to New York, guys. So
yeah, man.
Yeah,
so
I saw the announcement yesterday on the Big Six, the Twitter account.
Yeah,
man.
I sent him a whole thing. So if people from New York know more places, just send it to Saeed in the comments so he knows where to go. I feel like this guy's gonna be lost when he's here, so I'm taking care of him.
I'm telling you, man. Like, I'm gonna be on there. What's that park called? Grand Central.
Central Park. Central Park.
Central
Yeah.
Park, man. We're gonna be there. Like, what's the latest place? Is it Times Square the latest place? Like the latest.
Times Square is the latest.
Yeah,
But, like you just go there for a few pictures and then you gotta do something. Like it's not really much to do. So you're gonna go there for the pictures and all that. I actually used to work there. My office was in Times Square. So
is it?
Yeah, I used to work there. So it's a good place for some pictures, but then you got to find something to do. And listen, Saeed, when you walk in the streets of New York, I'm sure we're going to talk before it, but when you walk in the streets of New York, and if you hear anyone like screaming or anything, or people yelling, just know that's normal. Don't make it seem. Yeah, if you look, people are going to know that you're not from New York. So don't blow your cover. You're going to see a lot of crazy things when you go there.
Yeah, people say join Barcelona. Nah, man. Listen, man, we're just there for Big Six filming. You get me? Don't spend too much time in Times Square. Yeah, man, we're gonna be out and about, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like Times Square. I think it's very overrated, to be fair.
Yeah, man. Link up, man. We'll chat, man. Like I said,
where are you guys going, like, to meet the fans? Because have you guys made an announcement yet?
I think we're making the list. I think Turkish is gonna make the schedule, and then I think then we kind of like we're just gonna roll with it in it. You feel me? So we got loads of plans, but we're just gonna kind of like put it out there as soon as possible. But I'm in Nairobi first. I'm in Nairobi on Sunday. So I'm going to Nairobi first, and then I'm going to New York after. So it's going to be lit, people, man. So anyone that's from Nairobi, hit me up as well. And we'll link up in Nairobi, man. But yeah, people, enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow I'm back for Rivals Talk with Bavs, Drifty, Henry, and Huey. And yeah, man, enjoy the rest of your day, man. We're here. Like the video on your way out, and we'll see you tomorrow, man. Take care. Peace.